The ROI, the return on investment, for every $1 you spend in email, you get $42 back.
Wow.
So, Sari, I'm gonna give you $1. Give me 42. Like, I'll take that all day. What's fascinating to me is that it's so wrapped up with so much fear and so much annoyance and so much just another email that we get weird about it.
Welcome back to the podcast. You guys are in for a real treat. As you know, I took a break from the podcast this summer, but I had to come back. We had to do this podcast with Jane Hamill, and I'm already having a blast. We are dying laughing over here before we even started recording. So I am so, so excited. We're going to be talking about email marketing. Probably your least favorite thing. You just shuddered. I'm like, email marketing. But we're going to have so much fun because we have the one, the only Jane Hamill who is joining us today. So welcome, Jane.
Hi, everybody. By
Yes.
the way, email is not my least favorite thing, but I feel you. I feel you. Yes.
And oh my gosh. And we were just talking about like, what do I call you? What's your title, Jane? So why don't you, because I'm going to mess it up. So you tell me how your clients are referring to you.
Okay, well, I'm an OG entrepreneur. I've had multiple different businesses over the years, including being a fashion designer, owning a boutique, selling my clothing line wholesale to Bloomingdale Saks. I have a native garden design business with a partner now, and mostly I'm a business coach. And the company that I run is called Fashion Brain Academy, but I deal with all kinds of product-based businesses and entrepreneurs. And basically, what my clients tell me is, Jane, you help me deal with the entrepreneurial crazy brain so I make more money.
I love that.
So it's a combo of like, what's your strategy? What are your product drops? How are you bringing your product, how are you dropping products or, your collection planning, whatever. And then are you actually just doing it? Because all the great plans in the world, if in the end you're like, I don't want to send that email or I don't want to post that thing because people will think I look stupid, that ain't gonna work,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I mean, it's the classic, great, you have a product, you have a website, you have all the things, but now you actually have to go and sell it. That's what we're
And how do you
talking
get
about
over
today.
yourself enough to
Yes.
do it? Especially for I love your clients, by the way. I love every time I've been working with you and your peeps. They're just like me in the sense that they create the product themselves. So it's very, very close to their heart. And that makes it harder to market. You work for a big company and you're selling pencils, that's one thing. But when you put your
You're
heart and soul into
so close to
something,
it. Yeah. It's your baby. It's your baby. And you're just like,
call
I
it
don't
their
want to look
baby. I used to call it
stupid and
my,
I don't want to fail. And yeah.
yeah, there's these real next level mind to being the person who designs and creates the product, whether you're not making it in your kitchen, probably most of these people, but the person who, if you create and come up with the product and then you're responsible for selling it, that is a whole new level of entrepreneurship right there.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's one of the hardest things. I mean, it's a completely different hat. It's a completely different role. If we were in an organization, you would have a whole separate marketing sales team. And I love that you help entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, young early stage businesses to figure that out. And you are a fan favorite in Fuel. And I was saying, how have we never had you on the podcast, Jane? Because you and
I'm
I
glad
go
I'm
way
here.
back.
Yeah,
We have been
we do go
colleagues
way
and
back.
friends and all sorts of things to each other for over the years. So you've come into our Fuel VIP and to the other boot camps before to talk about this very important topic. And you are coming back into the boot camp for this August for 2025. And so I was like, we got to have you on the podcast. How have we not had introduced you to the world? Because you guys are gonna love her, and I love and just be forewarned, things come out of Jane's mouth. We don't always know.
I'm
We don't
PG
always know.
today, sorry. Very PG. Very few. I already did an F-bomb on the mind.
No, I know you caught yourself. I love it.
Proud, so proud.
Um, But I think that's also one of the reasons why we align so much and why people in fuel and clients and people I work with really resonate with you as well because we're all just like doing this work and we're not trying to make it, you're not trying to make it sound higher and mightier and more sophisticated than it is. Like you're making it real and I think you get like the issues that we're dealing with.
Yeah, I don't know any other way to be. If I could be more polished and act more professional, I probably would. But the Midwest girl in me is just like, yeah, no, that happened. This is, yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
may, let's just put it out there. It's just not easy. So if we can share with each other the what's going well and the mistakes that we've made, like that's what I want to hear all day from other people too. So like I'm in. Like, let's go.
Yeah. So I get all your emails. I love following you. You also have a podcast that you're not doing right now, but you've done in the past. And even
Yeah.
though your bent is more on fashion and clothing, it's so like you said, some of my folks have come and worked with you one-on-one. You come into my membership and talk because it all applies. Like we're talking about products, we're talking about D2C, e-commerce, selling online to people. And you have just embraced email marketing. So that's what we're going to focus on today. So let's just get this out of the way from the beginning. Like, Jane, most people hate, they will tell you, I hate email. I hate the number of emails I get. I don't
Yeah.
want to be that person. Why, if you're selling e-commerce direct to consumer, why do we have to do email?
Well, I guess the first thing is you don't have to. You can totally not do it. It's up to you. And if you do, you are just not, you are leaving money on the table, which I know is a corny thing to say, but the return on investment for email marketing for the last 12 years has not, there is nothing better. Okay. The reason email gets such a bad rap is that so many people do it in such an obnoxious way. And if you're just looking at data, according to HubSpot, well, maybe it's changed in the last like 10 months. I don't know. But the last things I've seen is like the ROI, the return on investment for every $1 you spend in email, you get $42 back. So, Sari, I'm gonna give you $1. Give me 42. Like I'll take that all day. Okay. And so what's fascinating to me is that it's so wrapped up with so much fear and so much annoyance and so much just another email that we get weird about it. And which is fine, and I do too, okay? And sometimes I get overwhelmed and don't send my emails and I get it. Like we all can sometimes struggle. But the thing that I want people to know is there is nothing better for ROI. I have clients, product-based businesses, coaches for sure do more than this. I have a lot of different clients, mostly with products. Some are coaches, some are running conferences, some have a nonprofit. Like it's my coaching is kind of all over the place right now in the sense of if the client has a movement behind it, I love it, right? So I'm seeing like 1 to 99, 1 to 87 over a course of a year,
Wow.
not just one email or whatever,
Sure.
obviously. So, I mean, it's not the first year you do it probably that you're going to get that kind of ROI, but what I'd say $1 in, $50 out is pretty average, if not more, for the people that I work with.
Yeah.
So, there's nothing that beats it. There's ads don't beat that. You're not going to get a ROAS of, So, yeah, it just works. And the key to making it work, however, is to not be a dick and not just send a constant buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. That doesn't
Yeah.
work. That's why people hate it. Everybody hates, DSW, or those of you in Europe, I don't know who sends just like constant, like Old Navy, like constant, emails. I'm not suggesting that at all. And I don't treat email the way most e-commerce brands treat it. So
Okay. I
the
need to
way I
know.
teach is kind of opposite. It's more like a coach or like, yeah, we're selling physical products usually, but to treat it the same way as a bigger e-commerce company is to me not gonna work
Yeah.
for small brands, or not doesn't work as well, and it's boring and people don't want to open those emails. So
That's so yeah, that's I was like, okay, well, what is it when you're doing it wrong, quote unquote, which is probably the way that feels really icky to most of us is like, yeah, I can think of like the Banana Republics or the Venus or the Old
yeah.
Navy or whatever that's in my inbox, but like I have my
Yeah.
junk inbox that I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Oh, I mean, I think it's Gary Vee that says marketers ruin everything. Like there's like this is going great, and then all these marketers get in and they like ruin it. And that
Yeah,
is facts for email. That is true, right?
yeah.
Marketers ruin SMS, marketers ruin like whatever. Okay, so we ruin everything. Fine. But if you own a business and you want to get sales, you are a marketer too.
Yes.
You're a maker and a marketer. You're a product designer and a marketer, whatever.
Yeah. If there
So
are sales at the end, if that's your desire, then we have to fill the gap of being a marketer somewhere
yeah,
in there. Like you have to market and sell your product.
yeah, you're
And
the best
yeah,
person to do it. So, I mean, I can give you a strategy of like, I don't teach, and I don't think y'all should do straight e-commerce email marketing where it's just like spreadsheet based, right? If you send this many, this percentage will buy in 0.01, and then you're just going to get some sales. Well, okay, that's great if you're Macy's, or not great, but you're going to burn out your list. People are not going to want to open that. They're not going to like it. So how do we do that with a limited time, with a limited budget, with a limited brain space?
yeah,
When running your business, you're probably doing farmers markets, at the co-packers, you're doing all the things you're doing and sending emails. How do you do that quick and dirty so you get that ROI that everybody talks about? They always say the money's in the list. Well, what money? How? That's kind of for me to see the
so,
vision for you. But if you haven't been sending them regularly, it can feel very overwhelming.
and I think, yeah, people come in with like, oh, I got to be that version of that e-commerce
Yes.
email writer, which feels overwhelming. It feels
Awful.
icky. So you avoid
Template.
it.
Yeah.
And you don't have enough emails on your list. Like I tolerate Macy's because I can just like scan over them and then I wait for the one that I'm waiting for, right? Like I'll
Yeah.
I'll stay on the list. But you don't have that luxury as a small business, right? So
We don't have the luxury to send that many emails out, right?
yeah.
So,
So what is the alternative, Jane? Like
yeah.
what does it look like instead if that's the icky like the wrong way to do it as a small
Yeah.
business, what's the right way?
I mean, look, the wrong way to do it is the way that just doesn't work for you. Okay. So if that works, great. If it, please come back and tell me I did it the quote wrong way and it was amazing. Great. Like, let's find out what's working for everybody. But I'll tell you what's working now for my clients who are having real success. There's a few things that I would think about. The first is like, think about emails that you like getting. There are some emails not from your best friend, but from companies or
Hmm.
small businesses that you actually look forward to. Or when you get them, you're like, oh, somebody's here. I'm going to open that. So the first thing I would think about some emails in your inbox are invited guests, and you're actually kind of happy to see them and you enjoy it. All right. What are those? Write them down. I don't care if it's like, the water delivery person, if it's the mindset coach, if it's the yoga studio that always has a funny gif, whatever it is, make a list of like, just like, what emails do I enjoy? Okay. And whether you buy from them or not, right, I wouldn't worry about that right now. Just like, which ones do I like getting? Okay.
Yeah, I love that.
Okay. So the first is there is a reality out there where people want your emails. There is. Okay.
That's such a great. I will stop you there really quick because I've done this stuff around like what if questions and like, yeah, what if it's possible that there is a reality where people actually like getting your emails and they want to receive them because we just lump ourselves in with all the scammy, sleazy ones and like, but what if it's
So
possible?
just one form of communication, right?
Yeah.
So yes, email is very competitive. Yes, people are doing it in a terrible way. Yes, a million things are good or bad. Social media, good or bad, depends who you talk to, depends on the day. To make email work for you, number one, keep in mind some people actually, you like getting some emails. Some people actually are raising their hand and wanting to be interested. Okay. Number two, think about, and this is where it's difficult because as as a fashion designer, I was so obsessed with designing the product and making sure that the quality was good and making sure that it fit, that the whole marketing was like, well, I don't have time for that, right? So number one, please know some people want to get your emails and think about the ones you like. Number two, think about the cadence of what I would call, you can call lots of different things, but selling versus value, how to, engagement, community, whatever. Okay, so the ratio of value emails versus pitch emails does not have to be what you're getting from other brands. Okay, if you're a newer, smaller, under $1 million company, whatever, half a million, 100,000, $10, whatever, it doesn't matter. You can send a lot more emails with simply like, a couple different themes. It can be behind the scenes, questions we're getting. One of the emails that I would say that a theme that almost always works was, this just happened.
Mm.
Okay, so I'll give you an example. So Scott from Elevated Gains is a client that I met through your company, and he's amazing. And I'm obsessed with his bars. I just
Yeah.
doubled my order. I mean, I'm going to
I
spend
took
all
a
my money on bars.
whole, like, I brought a whole baggie of them and they have helped me so much on this trip.
Yeah, the protein bars, you guys, I mean, 20 grams of protein doesn't taste like, can I swear?
That's
That's
good.
his tagline. FHT. It's true, right? So I want that product and I want his emails. But regardless whether he's a client or not, what he's done is he is very concerned about value versus pitch. And so I don't know what his ratio was. We used to say like 3 to 1, which is pretty incredible, like 3 value emails to 1 pitch. So if you sent one every week, it would be value based, A, B, C, and then week 4 would be like, buy this now, and here's a reason, and here's a psychological trigger like scarcity or timeliness, or maybe it's on sale. I hope not, but maybe it's a value add or whatever. So what are those value? Right now I'd probably go two to two, like 50-50, if you're uncertain about emails, because sending those quote unquote value emails is what gets people to open your pitch emails. Okay. And the mistake is everybody's pitching all the time in their emails, so nobody wants to open it, right? So what he does, and there's a couple clients that do a lot of similar things, but there's two things that he does. One is he does like a general business update, which is not for everybody to do because I don't really want to share details about the back end of my business. He does, and that's amazing for him, and people love it. So he'll be like, oh, July update, we had our biggest market ever, or we had our worst month ever. Like he'll put it out there. And people love it. And not just other entrepreneurs, his customers love that. Okay. So if you're willing to share like some of your business journey, they love that. The danger is you just attract a bunch of other entrepreneurs if that's your main thing. So that's part of it. But the one thing that he does, the this just happened email is the best. It's storytelling at its easiest. So you go to what happened this week in my biz, right? So let's say you're a client of mine who just did a big show in Milwaukee this weekend. And she had some very funny stories of what people said when they came to her booth. All right. So you just pick one. Okay. So for her, it was like, I want to buy that sign and I'm not taking no for an answer. Okay. That's her subject line. Okay. So she's like, hey guys, just got back from this XYZ show in Milwaukee. FYI, this was the bestseller there. Have you seen it? This guy came to the booth. He said this. He like insisted on buying her sign in the booth. So it's related to her business, but it's not about the products. But she did like drop, like she literally just says, as if she was writing to one person, which is really helpful if you just think about like who's the ideal person that would get this story and think it's funny. And so, writing storytelling emails is not easy, but just like literally documenting what happened this week is easy, right? You're just
Yeah.
like if you talk it into your phone and then it's transcribed, you could just cut and paste that shizzle practically, right? So basically, it's just like this dude wouldn't take no for an answer and so he's like, I'll give you $10 for that Krampus sign. I'll give you 15. I'll give you 20. And ended up paying $35 for her sign, and it's funny. And then she also has the opportunity to say, and this was the bestseller at the show. We're sold out of sizes X and Y, but you can get Z, D, da, da, da. Have a
Right,
great day.
right. So there's like, yeah, some interest,
So
some scarcity, but
yeah,
it's,
so value is not tips or how to use it or recipes. Value can just be a true funny story that just in that sort of like just got off the phone with a new something something. People love that. They
yeah.
love it. They love it when you're honest. They love it when you just tell them what happened. You don't have to come up with five ways to,
And that's
so
fine if
here,
you do. Like that can be
oh,
that can be something. But I think what's different about what I love about your approach is like, yeah, you don't have to like overthink this. You don't need to get all this
oh,
AI involved or do all these graphics. It's like,
oh, the
I mean, Scott's
heavy.
emails are so fun, right? And they're just like a quick photo and like some text, and that's it. And you're just like,
His
oh,
are
cool.
text-based. He barely uses HTML at all anymore. And he used to for like the last 6 years. And then when we started working together, I'm like, just don't do it. Just do
Yeah.
text-based with like a link and maybe one picture of yourself. And it really working. One of his best emails was this funny story was the subject line was, and what I love about Scott is, especially as we have worked with him over the months, is he's taking more and more risks and be like, screw it, I'll just send that as just one more email, right?
Yeah.
He's just is worried about like that people won't like it or it's wrong or it looks funny. So he's gotten, not that he had a ton of email fear, but we all have it. We all hate
Yeah. What if
subscribe.
people unsubscribe? It's like,
They hate
okay.
it. Yeah. Now I'm like, please don't subscribe if you're not going to open them. It helps my open rates. But one of his best ones was, you're charging $5 for this? That's effing ridiculous.
I saw that one. It was so
Uh-huh. And he
good.
just said, hey, this is what the lady said. This is what she said. This is what happened. Then she tasted it. Then she bought a box. Ha ha. P.S. This is the flavor she bought. And linked it back to the lemon flavor. And I think he sold like 10 that day.
Oh my gosh.
No picture, like just a little story. That's it.
Yeah.
So if we think about like 3 to 1, so you'd have like maybe it's behind the scenes, or here's a business update, or here I am packing orders, or whatever. And then maybe you say, this just happened, here's a story about something to do with something. And by the way, that's the product that has to do with it. P.S. This is our bestseller this week, like whatever. And then the next one could be value, like 3 reasons your body needs more protein. I'm just sticking with the Scott thing, right? Um, if you have the salsa, you have a great salsa client that I love.
Yeah, we
Uh,
have Maggie with Dough Smart.
yes,
Yeah.
right. So hers could easily be worst salsa recipe ever, right? And all she'd say is, it took me a long time to get my salsa this good. It used to kind of suck. Here's a picture when I started, but I fixed it now, and you could go here and buy it, right?
Yeah.
That's it's
Yeah.
so simple.
Right.
And then the last one could be new flavor, back in stock, buy a bundle, like straight e-com,
Yeah.
right? And if you did that once, so if you did, I mean, if that was your cadence, you're
Yeah.
gonna make money. You are.
Right.
And then as you go further, then you could have two more heavily sales emails and two more storytelling value tips emails, that type of thing.
Yeah. And I loved your metaphor of like being an invited guest because I get those emails from people that I don't even, I mean, sometimes I just don't, I'm never going to buy their product, but I'm like, I love their emails. But you just never know. Like, I might tell somebody else about it or forward it on to somebody, right? Like, I might not even be the person that's going to buy it, but
You're- If
you're,
you're opening someone's emails, odds are someone's gonna buy something.
yeah, yeah.
Like if it's not you, it's your mom, your sister, your brother, your best friend, your neighbor, because you're
Yeah,
just
if it's that good of an email, I'll be like, forward it to somebody else. Like, oh my gosh, this reminded me of you or whatever, right? And so I love the invited guests. And I think what we're talking about here is like you're building relationship
yeah.
and that's built in like tiny moments, not in, it's not just the Christmas and Easter and 4th of July. It's in the little moments of day-to-day
Yeah.
interaction.
And I guess the thing is, the big thing that's hard to see is if you want to sell more with email, stop trying so hard to sell. It's kind of brutal because you're like, I'm gonna spend this time on this email and I'm not even trying to get sales off of it. But if you don't send those, you're not going to get sales on the ones when you're really trying to get sales.
Yeah.
So the cadence, the other thing is that people I think don't realize is your emails can be a lot shorter. I think people have come from a email newsletter
Hmm.
background and they think they need to have tons of pictures and tons of tips and tons of sections and no.
Yeah. I'm still trying to break myself a little bit of that habit because I came up in marketing in the days of email newsletters and here's
Yeah.
our monthly update and like the MailChimp stuff, right?
Yep. And it's like it's all designed and this and the hierarchy of text. Forget all of that.
Yeah.
A text-based email, maybe one picture, a selfie of you or a product, and a buy now, you're good. Like you
Yeah.
can really dumb it down, guys. You really can.
And I think what we're talking about here is like, and you know Kristen Graham as well. She talks a lot about the attention economy, right? And like, there's so much going on, and if we simplify it and we try to make it less flashy and less like blah, like it
Yeah.
actually has a more positive impact. Like, we're more curious as the receiver, and it feels more authentic. I think that energy is comes through.
Yeah. And it does take a certain suspension of disbelief to think that this would work. So if anybody thinking like, okay, I should try this value versus tips, I don't know what to say, but maybe I don't care that much anymore. Maybe the listening to this is going to release me from some kind of like email has to be a big deal, right? And so maybe you say, I'm going to, for the next, 2 months, I'm going to send, an email every other week. Maybe that's it. You just start somewhere.
Yeah.
And you start with like the kind of little update or the kind of email you would send a good friend.
Mm.
And so you just, it can be really casual. It just doesn't have to be that as polished as you think it has to be, I think.
Yeah. I think, yeah, let's challenge everybody listening. Like, well, I think everybody just take that challenge, try one. I mean, you can look
Yeah.
at it like an experiment and let's just send one or two and try the email, the text base and simplify it. And it's kind of like, what is that well, you would know this with being in fashion, right? That Chanel line that like, look in the mirror real fast and take off the first thing that catches your eye. So you like simplify a little bit more.
You know, it can be well, I would think of it as like a micro email. What's a
Mm.
micro email you could send? Okay.
Mm.
If you have no idea what to send, then do this. Send a quick tour of your studio.
Yeah.
Send like people ask me all the time how I got started. This. Here's a picture when I was last. Here's a picture now. P.S. Something's dropping next week. Bye. Like that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
It can be so basic and it still works. But
Yeah.
I look at them as a whole, the sum of like all the emails you sent, not like this email, this result. Like people are always like, well, that email made me $400 and that one made me 890. I'm like, no, 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 no.
Right.
That workout didn't give you that muscle either. It's like a series of things to
Yeah,
ultimately
it's the
that return.
compounding and you're getting a relationship with people.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. When you said like sometimes I open the emails and then I know I'm never going to buy something from that person. Okay, so you think, right? So there's a woman who sent out an email and I'm like, well, I don't really focus on social media that much for my brand, so I'm never going to buy from her anymore, right? But I still like her. And she sent an email on April 1st. Um, and this is off color. So it's CUNT, this is versus CUNTY. There's a difference. Okay. C word versus C wordy. There's a difference. And I was like, what in the actual heck? How did that even get through the spam filter? Okay. So I open it because I know she's funny as hell. And it was, I've been noticing lately there's a difference. And let's take this quiz. Take this quick quiz to see which one are you or who you're surrounded by. And I was dying laughing. And then I didn't realize till the next day it was April Fool's.
Mm.
So I opened that email, and within a couple weeks, I ended up booking a private session with her to go over my. I ended up giving her like $400 because she's funny. And then I know she's talented. And then I was paying attention to the emails that weren't a joke. So I saw her offer and I jumped on it for the native gardening business. So It
Wow.
works on me. And I'm like a snarky, OG, like, those tricks are not going to work on me.
Right.
It worked on me. I gave it money.
Well, if you allow your personality and like to come through, then I think people we are looking for, and I think that this is going to be more and more and more true because there's so much competition out there, right? We are looking for people who we connect with, who we feel aligned with, who just like you and I, right? Like, I mean, there's tons of people talking about email marketing that I could have on the podcast or bring into Fuel, but like you're my kind of people and it's aligned with me and so I think we're looking for brands, the things that we purchase, and I just think it's going to continue more and more. We're looking for
I do.
personality. We're looking for something that says like I'm interesting, I'm different, and you and me, we're like the same. You know what I mean?
And since I have seen some people that I work with and just some people in the space just getting AI crazy and having ChatGPT write everything for them. And you know what, guys? We can tell. It's not ideal. If you have a draft and you want them to clean it up, great in AI. But I can't tell you with
Yeah, that's a
there's
really
so
good
many
point.
great things about AI, but getting that, I saw somebody selling a year of emails and it's all like, do it in AI. Okay. But like it's gonna be missing you. And
Yeah.
the risk taking of putting yourself out there, even if you just tell a story, like her telling that C versus C word, there's plenty of people who probably unsubscribed, but then there's people like me who loved her so much for that and the baller move that was that I gave her 400 bucks. So, you know,
Yeah. Doesn't mean that, yeah, you have to go and like make all these waves, but I think if you're willing to be more authentic and yeah, we have to be so careful about how we and believe me, I've been guilty of this as well, right? We lean on AI too much. And how do we like bring back more of that authenticity and the vulnerability
yeah.
and ourselves?
Yeah,
And
that example is next level.
yeah.
Okay, that's next level.
I don't recommend
I don't
that.
even have the nerve to do that. What is your version of that?
Yeah,
Is your
putting yourself
version
out
of
there.
it to say, that was a terrible recipe? Or something
Hmm.
like, just be honest about like, yeah, I thought my product was good when I started, and here's a picture of it, and you can see how like that doesn't work. But here it is today. We listened to your feedback. We changed these three things. Go
Yeah.
try it.
Yeah, it's such a good point. Yeah, there's so much there. There's so much gold there. If you guys are willing to use a little bit more personal examples, willing to just think about, yeah, keeping things really short, really short.
Yeah.
So, we're so excited because Jane is coming in yet again. She's been a VIP guest. Like I said, she's been in past holiday ready boot camps. You're coming back in for this year again, and we're going to be talking about, I mean, email is so, so, so important for the holidays. It's important that you start now. Like, you don't just
Yeah.
start in November.
Yeah, so one of the things that I'm going to be kind of showing in the Your Holiday Ready boot camp is specific examples of that sort of like ABC, different types of emails, so you can just kind of get over yourself and start
Yeah.
doing it. Because it's mostly just the fear of, I don't know what to say, I don't have time, that takes a little brain work. So we'll be just showing like, here's a specific example of what you could do, type over it in your way,
Yep.
talk it out, send it, be willing for it to suck. Treat it like a big, fun, sexy game and test it and see what happens. That's the whole point. That's what I'm going to talk about and just how to get started and get over yourself, knowing if you do that now for the holidays, it's going to be better. And it's only going to get better because your email, the other thing I didn't mention in the beginning, the ROI of email is so good because email still, short of like being in a room with somebody, is the most engaged subscriber. They're most likely to buy much more so even than like social media fans. If a friend says you have to go buy Sari's course, that's the best thing you can get, right? If somebody's at a market and you're holding the product and they send them over to your booth. That like that, okay, we all want that. Short of that, the people who agree to be on your emails and actually don't just get like suckered into it, they are interested and they're most likely to buy. They're your
Yeah.
most engaged audience of any audience you're going to have. So,
Yeah, they want to hear from you. They signed up. So let's start communicating with them, but not doing it in the salesy
yeah,
way. So
yeah,
amazing. And you're gonna have a really fun offer. You're gonna the boot campers get first because it'll be a small container, but you're gonna be helping
yeah.
people with getting ready for the holidays if they want more support from you, which is so fun.
And how to just do it and not think
Yeah.
it has to be like a certain thing because I gotta say, people just trying to get those templates right and all those images, it just ruins their productivity. And there's another way.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to try some of these things out. And, I've been sharing my journey through France a little bit and Europe and this last year. And, sometimes I'm like, does anybody care? Like, this has nothing to do with food. But when like it feels authentic. I'm not like, this is just like where I'm at, what I'm doing. And I do get like feedback and responses. And I think that it matters, right? As we build trust and relationships with people.
When I had I had a baby blanket business and a blanket business that where I sold them online. And I will tell you, when I would say or do something in emails like, OMG, the kid did this or that, and boy, that's rough. I'm sitting outside a baseball game while I'm sending this email. Here's all I can do. Here's the blanket. It's new and it is selling, but I'm too tired to explain it to you. People would be like, thank you for not making it seem perfect. And that was a
Yeah.
sales email. I mean, that was like, I'm just they're all moms or grandmas or parents who are on a baby blanket list, right? So like just I literally was like, I'm exhausted. Here's the blanket. I'm lucky it got done. I'm take the win, go buy it if you want or not. Like I was so honest and it's like people they're like, I'll never forget that.
I love
I
that.
just felt like you saw me.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And they felt connection with you.
Yeah.
So good. Oh my gosh. Well, Jane and I could riff for a very long time about emails and lots of things,
Yeah.
but I we wanted to keep this one short and just introduce you to my audience and uh, the people who are coming to the boot camp. This will be a great primer, so you can just jump in and we can get started and have a really productive, valuable session with you in the boot camp. So really excited about that and
And
excited for the partnership
is
again.
boot camp how to get ready for Q4 exactly? Can you I know I've seen it, but can you just tell me exactly what is the boot camp? What is
Get Ready Boot Camp is really about getting your holiday plan, that Q4 plan done.
yeah.
And, it's funny, I was actually just going back through the videos, and I was so excited to watch last year's. I was like, oh my gosh, this was so good. That was amazing. Because first, what people fail to do when they start planning for holidays or a launch or anything in their business is what is the vision? What's the goal? Like, why are we even doing this? They just start doing stuff
Hmm.
that somebody has told them that they should do, right? They're like, oh, I gotta send emails and I gotta post on TikTok and I gotta do this and I gotta do this.
A
And they're
deal a day or Santa's coming or some yeah.
Yeah, and they're just doing stuff, but there's no destination defined, right? It's like, where are we even going? Like, what's the point of this? Because we all have such limited bandwidth as solopreneurs, or, a lot of my folks solo or maybe with a partner, but like, let's actually make the things that we are doing really effective and make sure that they are aligned with the vision. So
Right.
it's really about first defining the vision. Where are you going? What is the strategies? What are those buckets that you're going to operate in? And then narrowing down and constraining the tactics. You can't do it all. Like, you don't have, and you certainly don't have time if you wait to do a plan or lack of plan in October. But at least we're in August and you can create a plan and you do have more time to do more things. But then it's about getting it done, like breaking it down into those small, tiny, bite-sized little pieces that you and I both know as coaches and entrepreneurs ourselves, like nothing gets done that's too big and too
Oh,
broad. Like,
and there's such power in a plan, and it's not whether we execute the plan perfectly or
no.
not. Having the plan and knowing, okay, of all these 1,700 things that are on this plan, these three, top,
Yep.
let's
This
go.
is what's going to move the
So much
needle.
easier.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I'm doing this
Yeah.
for the branding
Yeah.
business too. Like, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And at least if you spend the prefrontal cortex energy now, like you said, you don't have to follow like the plan, what's that saying? Like make a plan, rip up the plan. But the act of doing the plan, of putting the brain power in it is you're going to be so much more effective and
Yeah.
efficient and like be more selective and things are going to just going to be way easier on you and you're going to know what to say yes to and what to say no to as well.
I remember my mom was a therapist and she used to do like workshops and stuff. And I remember looking at her workshops when I was younger and she'd say, there's power in a plan. And then she would show data of people who have a plan, whether they execute it perfectly or not. The fact of having a plan increases results by XYZ. If you tell someone about, like,
Yeah,
it's science of your brain. I don't even know how that works, but I'm in. I'm in.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. So good. Well,
Thanks,
Jane, it's
Sari.
been an absolute pleasure. So glad. Here we are, almost 5 years in, and we finally had you on the podcast.
Hashtag win. I'm winning.
Ah, amazing. You got me out of hiding from in Europe.
Sorry
So
about that. I know you're in 100 days in Europe. I hate to see you working, but this is not too hard. Like,
this is fun. This is fun stuff. So super excited about you joining us for the boot camp. And if folks want to get access to you, and you'll have a special offer inside the boot camp. Do you want to just share where people can find?
so the company is called fashionbrainacademy.com. I have website shame, just saying, but you can get on the list and we do send, we'll spam you to death with our emails. Not, okay. Or if you're an Instagram person or socials, it's at Jane Hamill Shy, and it's Jane Hamill like Mark Hamill, or Dorothy Hamill for you OGs like me, CHI like Chicago. I'm in Chicago. So
Okay.
yeah, come say hi. I love your clients are so much fun and they're very similar. They're very creative. They're very fun. They're very like smart and they do stuff.
Yeah.
So I like it. I like working with you guys. Please come and tell me what you're up to. What's your product? I want to follow along. I probably want to buy it, unfortunately. Hazard of the biz.
This is the danger
Yeah,
working with food businesses for
it's a
sure.
problem. Yeah, so much butter I bought from Jessica. Oh my God, I love that butter. You get addicted. Like these are good products you have.
They're really good products. Yeah, and we just want to help you sell more of them. And Jane, especially, get over your crazy entrepreneur brain and make more money.
Make more money. We need our own money. We
Yeah,
do.
amazing. Well, we will leave it on that. Thank you so much, Jane, for joining us, and we'll see you soon in the boot camp.
Great. Thanks, Sari. Bye, guys.
What a fun interview. I love talking with Jane, and I'm so glad we finally got her on the podcast and I get to introduce her to all of you. So I hope that was really helpful. I hope you have some great tips, some ideas about how can I make marketing through email simpler, more fun, like less stress. And hopefully you can see the difference, right, of the perspective change of how you can do email marketing differently that actually people want to open up, they want to engage, they want to follow along in the journey. If this resonated with you and you're wanting more support with emails and getting your whole holiday plan done, then come and join us in the boot camp for 2025. Or if you're listening to this another time, you can still get it through the holidays and then we'll be back in 2026. Go to foodbizsuccess.com/holiday ready. And until next time, have an amazing week.